So we're going to talk about Austria and why it was involved in the First World War.
It was more like a collection of regions and peoples that owed allegiance to the Habsburg Emperor. It was the same in the Russian, British, French, and German empires. Different nationalities, languages, cultures, and regions. The main people living in the empires were non-Europeans, and that's where the Austrian Empire was different. It had lots of Europeans ruling it. And another difference was that Austria had lost more of its empire in the 19th century than the other empires. In 1815, the Habsburg monarchy dominated Germany and Italy and gained a lot of control of southeast Europe. In 1859, Italy was lost in a war against France in Piedmont. Uh, After this, Italy was still divided into a number of states, but a nationalist movement led by Giuseppe ended this. In 1866, Austria suffered defeat again against Prussia and lost dominance over Germany. Now they were largely confined to Southeast Europe, and in 1867 Austria was forced into offering Hungary equal status in the form of dual monarchy, and it was now called Austria-Hungary. And if any state would feel more pride than another, it would lose status in the empire. The subject peoples, who were Czechs, Slovaks, Serbs, Croats, and Romanian, grew very resentful of the Austro-Hungarian control. The Czechs in particularly disliked the domination of the German-speaking emperor. But even though so many different nationalities felt like this, they were too divided to go against the rulers in any way. And they didn't have the power to produce the military necessary either. On the other hand, if they had the support of neighboring powers, the situation might have been different. Austria was mostly afraid that Russia would step in to support the different nationalities living under Austrian rule in the Balkans. Also was Austria a Catholic power ruling many Orthodox peoples, and culturally these groups were closer to Russia. This was shown in the Bosnian crisis of 1908.
Okay, so the Bosnian crisis in 1908. Well, since 1878, Austria had occupied two territories or provinces called Bosnia and Herzegovina, and in September 1908, Russia over here and Austria agreed that Austria would eventually add these two provinces right here. And in return, Austria would support the Russians in moving warships from the Black Sea through the Turkish Straits into the Mediterranean. And the reason why Russia wanted this was because it was banned from this route in 1848 by an international agreement. Now, as said before, Austria wanted Bosnia and Herzegovina, and they went along and already added these provinces, but did not support Russia. And long story short, the Russians got mad at the Austrians. Now, the Balkan Wars, which lasted from 1912 to 1913, it pretty much was about Serbia, who was an independent country that posed a threat to Austria. So here's Serbia, and here's Austria/Hungary. And in 1912, Serbia, Bulgaria, Greece, and Montenegro formed the Balkan League with the goal of driving the Turks or Ottomans out of the empire. So the Ottomans occupied this area, and they all ganged up, the Balkan League ganged up and drove the Ottomans out of Europe. And while the Turks were busy with two other wars, the Balkan League attacked in 1912, and this was known as the Balkan Wars. And the success of the League made Austria very nervous, so they quickly signed a negotiation with the Balkan League. But some of the Balkan states, especially Bulgaria, felt cheated, and this led to Bulgaria declaring war on its once former ally, so the Balkan League. And the war was quickly over. They all ganged up on Bulgaria and easily defeated them. And Bulgaria, since defeated, turned to Austria for help and away from its former partner, Russia.
Of the second. One of the main reasons that Austria part of First World War was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand on June 28, 1914. He was the heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and he and his wife were killed by a terrorist, Gavrilo Princip, who was a fanatical Serb nationalist and member of the terrorist group the Black Hand. They were killed on a state visit to the Bosnian capital Sarajevo. The Serbs in Bosnia were against Austria's annexation of the region in 1908 and wanted Bosnia to join the independent country Serbia instead. As a response to the murder of Franz Ferdinand, Austria gave Serbia a series of demands which Serbia refused to meet as they felt the demands would compromise its independence. This set the stage for a war. Austria is allied to Germany, while Serbia's alliance was Russia, which were allied to France. This meant that a rather local quarrel could easily spread. When the deadline for Serbia's acceptance of the demands passed, the danger of a conflict was so big Russia started mobilizing. So Austria called on Germany, who had planned to quickly defeat Russia's allies France to avoid a war on two fronts. Since Russia didn't stop mobilizing, France began to mobilize too, and Germany declared war on Russia. France declared war on Germany. The Germans also planned an invasion of Belgium, Britain's only formal ally, so Britain declared war on Germany.
Okay, why Austria declared war on Serbia? The war was declared after an event which took place. Hungary declared war on Serbia after the Serbian people they murdered. There was an assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in June of 1914 by a member of a nationalistic secret Serbian society. And then the Emperor of Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. So the first reason of the why Austria declared war on Serbia, as I said, was the assassination of Duke Franz Ferdinand in June 1914. And then this led to Austria issuing an ultimatum to Serbia on the 23rd July 1914. And then this ultimatum, which was issued to the Serbian people, the Serbians only accepted 8 of Austria's 10 demands, and then this was not acceptable to the Austrian people, and thus Serbia was blamed according due to the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. They were blamed that they failed to control terrorism in their country, and also that led to that contributed to war, which was declared on the Serbian country. And another reason is the reliance on triple alliance with Germany. The Austrian-Hungarian people, they had alliance with Germany, so they believed that if they work together with Germany, they would make a good opposition, and they will be strong enough to overcome Serbia. And also Austria people believed that they could manage a quick decisive victory against the Serbian people. Another reason is due to the growth of military power and planning. The Austrian people believed that they had a strong military power and they had good planning than the Serbian people, so this could lead them to a victory over the Serbian people. And another reason is that Count Leopold Berchtold, he urged that war was the solution to prevent Serb nationalism from spreading. So the Austrian, they didn't want the Serbian people to prosper. They didn't want them to prosper, so they decided that in order for them not to spread their nationalism across the world, so they needed to have war, so that the Austrian people, they will have a bigger name than the Serbian people. So this is a telegram which was sent by Count Leopold von Berchtold, who was an Austrian-Hungarian foreign minister, and he sent it to the Serbian prime minister and foreign minister, and it was received at 12:30. And this showed that this the Austro-Hungarian people that had declared war against the Serbian people, and it was then on the 20th July 1914. Yep.